GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Shelton scores! Up in the corner of a baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! LA face with an Oakland booty. Make me a bicycle club. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I am joined today with Dan, Jason, Doc, Noise, Tom, and Rafi, and this is the first show of the year at our new time, Mondays at 9 p.m. Hopefully it'll work out for us a little bit more people, but the topic of the day is whatever the hell we want to talk about, I suppose. I don't really have any plans, so whatever we want to get into. I know, Jason, you had some ideas of some things going on that you wanted to speak on.
Yeah, as we speak right now, the Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey auctions are ending. Some interesting. I guess maybe it's St. Louis money over other bigger market money, but some of the prices are low and some are crazy ass high. Parayko just closed a few minutes ago at $21.50, and of course these are one period jerseys. Bowmeister's got about 2 minutes left, and he's at $1,900. Who else of big names here? Perron's at $15.25. And if that one's the one where he ended up inside the net behind the Hawks goalie, it wouldn't be too bad to have that one, but still. Carter Hutton, I mean, yeah, he took warm-ups and sat on a bench. His is at $1,000. And the bid numbers are pretty, scrolling through these are pretty decent. Of course, then you've got Jonathan Taze, who closes in just under an hour. His is currently at $43.50. The only other ones I see that are that high, Blues-wise, is Tarasenko, and he's got about an hour and 15 minutes to go. Is at $3,300. Everybody else is in the $1,000 to $2,200 range, it seems.
Ugh.
So, I mean, and it's a one-period jersey, one-period jersey, and I believe, at least I was on some of the other Blues forum stuff this morning, this afternoon, and what they're saying is one of the guys from Classic said it was supposed to be the second period. The description on here says the first period, so we really don't seem to know. Again.
Well, a big surprise there. I mean, come on.
That's like an old story.
Yeah.
And will never seem to die. The other big thing I thought, some interesting debates I saw over the last week, was the placement of the 100-year patch.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It looks like it was last second. It's like, oh yeah, let's put it right here.
The ones down low in the middle of the arm, I mean, you may find some good wear on your patch. But maybe, like in some cases, maybe it should have been opposite shoulder, like in the Blues case for the patches that they've had on. But the 50th patches, maybe put the 100 on the opposite shoulder. But yeah, just some of those kind of weird things. And maybe it's nitpicky stuff, but it drives me a little crazy because I think it looks bad.
I don't even think the jerseys looked all that sweet to begin with. I mean, in my opinion. But here's what is happening, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is you got fanatics in the business, and NHL is really pushing them, right? So I think the auctions are getting more visibility now, and the people that are fans that just happen to see it are starting to see it, and that's driving up the prices, which is not good for us because, well, we don't get our hands on it. But the second half of that is those people are one-off people, so they buy it from NHL auctions, and that's the end of it. So we either don't see that again, or when they reach out, it's a little bit too late in the game, and they're not actually avid collectors like we are. So I think Fanatics is the way that they're promoting and handling is they're not promoting the hobby, they're promoting their product, which is driving up the prices on anything that they have and anything that they touch.
And I saw people today got in the mail. They ordered the Winter Classic ice, quote unquote ice with the water in the middle, and I think they were selling those for like $45, and it's just even the Blues, how they handled replica jerseys they were selling, and they did a pre-order, and it seems like about a third of the people that pre-ordered, they didn't get theirs, but then they showed up in the shop, so they had to fight trying to get them through the shop instead, and so many different levels. It was just a mess. I mean, I was more excited for the alumni game than I was for the actual player game.
Hey, David Ambrosio says, "What's up, Doc?" He also says he thinks some of the things that might be affecting it is you can pay with a credit card, where on most auctions they don't accept credit, which is definitely plausible.
Yeah, I could see that, but I don't know. It's just frustrating to see, and just I don't want to keep knocking Fanatics because they're a business.
No, keep knocking them.
Yeah,
Do their stuff their way, but Jesus, when they keep screwing stuff up over and over, and teams can sign with them to do their stuff. But I guess if they get money, if Fanatics writes that team a check, the team just doesn't give a shit anymore.
That's pretty much accurate. I mean, money rules all. That's pretty true. I mean, we've been trying to reach out to teams that don't even have a program, but all we want to do is sell it for them, you know? We don't want to actually buy the jerseys, and that's where we fail. But we have no interest in ownership of that shit.
Because you won't ever sell them all.
Too much risk, not enough reward. You know, we're not trying to drive up prices on jerseys. We're just trying to get out in the hands of collectors.
And I think maybe it's that the teams don't get it, or they think it's too much of a hassle, or what. But I know, and I don't know how heavy the sales have been, Derek. But I know when those the Wolves jerseys came out, a lot of people were very excited that those were out there because they seemed, previous to that, they seemed very difficult to find.
Now, the tough point with that was the price point. So the team has, you know, a specific mark that they wanted to sell at, and if anything under that, they would just raffle or auction. So you either pay what they want, and that'll get it in the hands of, you know, the collectors out there, or if you don't, they'll do their own thing with it. So I mean, that's another place for, like, kind of like where the drive comes from, is we can get it in the hands of collectors. That's cool, but you know, on the team side, it's we got to get what we want out of it. Otherwise, we'll just get rid of it to somebody who's, you know, in a raffle, you know, and we'll make $400 on the raffle, something like that, you know?
I find it interesting the way the Flames do theirs. If they still have some left over from a season, they'll knock them all down either 25 or 30%. Then if it's been 2 seasons sitting there, they knock them down 50%. It doesn't matter who the player is.
Well, they also pump out a lot, too.
It's usually 2 sets of every player for home and away, and then the one alternate. So,
which actually is on the low end for what a lot of teams seem to go through.
Right.
You know, that'll, you know, you mentioned the alternate, so how about everybody
Yes.
the Adidas getting rid of the alternates?
I think it's a transition period. They might bring him back, but I think for right now, I'm okay with it. I'd rather just have 2 normal sets, really.
Because it's starting to flood the market.
Yeah.
With teams having 3 sets.
Some teams don't even release their thirds.
What if they get rid of the 1 set of jerseys? So say a team wears, you know, 2 set, 2 home, 2 away, right? And then they wore 1 alternate during the year. What if now they do 3 home, 3 away? Adds an additional jersey to the entire thing.
Well, some teams do 3 if they make the playoffs. They'll make a playoff jersey.
Well, then at that point it'd be 4.
The Blues do 3 sets
Not
even
my
if they don't
Avalanche.
make the playoffs.
No, well,
The Red Wings
don't the
this
Red
year.
Wings the Red Wings will do 3 if they make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they'll close out, but they only have no. They do 1 set a year. They do 1 set regular season, and then they roll into the playoffs. And historically, what has been happening is most of the jerseys worn in the playoffs, because we always get booted first round, get recycled for the next year.
But last year the Penguins had 4 sets of jerseys. They had home one and home away in 1 and 2. They had playoff home and away, and then they had Stanley Cup finals.
Did any of you guys pick up the any of the World Cup jerseys?
No.
No.
Yeah, I got period 1, game 3, and it was used for 3 seconds, I think. It's nice.
Oh, jeez.
That's the Adidas model, right? Are they using the Adidas models they're going to be using like here in the future?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, the interesting thing I know with the Avalanche, they usually do 2 sets of thirds, and the end date for the first set was supposed to be, I think, like the 29th of December or the 30th of December, right before they put the 100-year patch on. So I was kind of wondering, do they release 1 set of thirds without the patch, which I would have figured would have gone for less money because people would know then that the next set were coming out, the second set with 100-year patches. But I guess they're just going to hold them back and do 1 set total of thirds this year.
Right.
So,
what do you think of the quality of the Adidas jerseys compared to the Reeboks?
They kind of feel like the like Olympic jerseys. They're just a different kind of feel, not like almost like a Swift feel to them. Mm-hmm. I got a Duchesne Canada, and it's a nice shirt. I mean, I don't know how they would wear over 15 or 20 games. That's the question. as opposed to 3 to 5 minutes of actual ice time if they're worn in a period. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know how I've never seen one with repairs or even any sort of significant wear or burns on them.
Well, with the tournament, it's hard to say with how often they're swapping out jerseys. We can't even get a guesstimate of wear pattern because they're used so minimally, which is unfortunate. I heard people saying that they think they're going to tear easier, but I guess we'll see.
I mean, that would be nice.
Nice for us, maybe. If they tear too easy, instead of repairing them, they'll just get new ones and sell the other ones and throw more on the market. Why not, right?
Or will it be like a Edge 1.0 mess where they wore those for a while and the players bitched and then they had to go back and basically redesign them and deal with some of that kind of stuff? I hope Adidas has been spending enough time with R&D and looking at past problems, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's more the same crap.
There you go, Rafi.
Or it takes a season or 2 to tweak that.
Figure with you on the call, might as well show you a little of the stuff you help somebody, a really nice, friendly collector, get something that he really wanted.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, we ended up working out a payment plan for him so he could actually get it. So we're
I happen to know where that one's going. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
So.
And see, that's the kind of stuff that makes the hobby good.
Yeah, that was a really good trade for the Avalanche, by the way. I'm glad we got rid of Cody McLeod. That's going to make the difference, I think, in the second half. Lord.
Yeah, well, hey, at least the Red Wings are winning games, right?
It's tough, I can tell you that right now. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'll tell you what. At least, we got the Red Wings got Caro in net, who's tearing it up. He's got 2 shutouts in six games, something like that. It's funny. One of the interesting things about, especially for people that buy like AHL stuff, like I have 2 sets of Jared Caro pads. Never thought he'd make it up to the show, like the way he's doing now. I thought he might fill in a game here, a game there as players got injured. But he's had quite a stint, and he's been doing awesome. And I'm like, man, I picked up those pads for me to wear, and I wear them. But now he's doing sweet.
Are they helping your goals against average?
Yeah. So I normally, most times, would suck, and at this point, I just suck a little bit less.
Mission accomplished.
I was using Warrior G2s, but these Vons seem to fit me better, so it's been a lot more fun. And that's one of the reasons why we changed the showtime too, is because we want to play more hockey. So we usually play on Sundays, so I've been doing every other Sunday to play hockey to coincide with the show, but moving the show to Monday, now I can play every Sunday. Woo!
And your wife will love you for it.
Yeah, and the show's not as late anymore, so I mean she ain't got to complain about that, which is nice. Don't tell her I said that. So some really cool news for the Expo in April. Detroit Hockey Company coming to the show. They got 3 tables.
Cool.
So they're going to bring a decent amount of stuff, which sounds like... so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd seen you post that the other day, and it's great that being able to bring in more businesses and make. I'm really excited. I mean, it's not that far away.
Yeah, it's coming up very quick. I mean, right now we're working on organizing raffle stuff. So for any listeners, if you have some cool things that you don't necessarily want to hold on to, but you do want to contribute, that would be cool. Send it our way, and we'll throw it in the raffle. I myself, I've already donated a stick to the raffle, but I decided that I'm going to make the announcement right now that I am going to add into the lot the pair of Dylan Larkin Stadium Series pants that we have consigned on GameWorn.us. Those are going to go into the raffle.
Sweet, very nice.
So once we open up tickets, hopefully people are interested in that, and that kind of interests everybody in checking out what the raffle's about. I know there's a couple other things that I'm going to add in there. I got like some Carter Hutton San Jose Sharks nameplates from development camps and some signed pucks and things like that. So we encourage people to donate to the raffle, because once we get our costs covered, we're going to start donating money to charity.
Nice.
Don't know
Nice,
what
I'll see
charity
what I
yet,
can come
but
up with.
we'll get it figured out what charity we'll want to what we want to support. So once we hit our costs, we're going to start moving money from costs to charities. So that's one of the big reasons why I want to try and have like a really cool, prize. I think the Dylan Larkin pants they'll make somebody happy.
Yes, you too can get in Dylan Larkin's pants.
Nice.
I'm bad like that.
Well, he's such a cute kid. So what's going
But
on
I-
in your guys'
I
world?
think
What'd you get
that-
for Christmas?
No good hockey stuff. I've been actually fairly quiet on the front, both buying and selling and trading. I think a lot of it's just getting through the holidays more than anything.
Yeah.
I got my daughter one of her favorite players, for Christmas, one of his game wardens from last season. So that was the highlight of my holiday.
Definitely not a bad thing.
Nope. I swear this 7-year-old already has 2 gamers. I'm starting him off way too early.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just concentrating on trying to get my rank taken care of right now, get my little boy on some skates. It's incredibly hard to find skates that are like for kids, young kids. Like the smallest size skate I can find so far is like a youth size 8. I need something like a youth size 5 or 6.
Did you look on eBay?
I found these like blue crappy things that I think I might have to get. They're like 6 to 7 sizables. I might just have to get that just to get them started. Whatever. But I did get...
You got any Team Canada jerseys out of the auction? The World Juniors?
Oh, I didn't get any of that.
I didn't either.
I don't
tried.
really do auctions a whole lot. My most recent auction pickup is this Shannon Zabados jersey from the Cottonmouths.
Mhm.
That's about it. I just picked it up because of historical significance.
I think you definitely did good on that. It's well under what I expected it to go.
Yeah, I was expecting to pay out the nose, but it definitely went lower than I thought, which is nice. Because I wasn't going to pay more. I'm a cheap ass. What can I say?
Sometimes you gotta be.
True. Oh, Ken Sobel asked what's going to the Avs from McLeod. What'd they get?
We basically just dumped salary. We got I don't even know who it was from Nashville, but he's not even on on an NHL roster. So I think it was a $1.5 million salary hit. The Avs ate part of it for this year and then freed it up for next year. And I think they're just trying to clear cap space. So, at the end of this year, a big chunk of our roster, like Iginla and a couple other guys, are going to term out. And whether or not we get rid of one of our kind of young core players and free up another $6 million a year is yet to be seen. But that's the only thing they write about in the Denver newspapers or, any of our local sports guys is just, is it going to be Duchesne? Is it going to be Landeskog? Or is it going to be both? Is it going to be Barry? Can they get rid of Varlamov? I mean, it's like it never ends. They don't actually talk about the team or the team ever doing anything. Now it's just about how to blow the team up and see what we can get back for it. So
trying to get that first round
that,
draft pick. Just tank.
I'm just sad the coach is having a bad time there. Great guy.
Yeah, he is having a rough time, and there's a couple of actually pretty good articles about, the basically institutional failure of the Avalanche, and it's not just trying to blame Patrick Waugh or just trying to blame Joe Sakic, but
no, it's those draft picks. I know
bad.
that.
Oh.
You're speaking to the choir, even though I'm not an Avs fan anymore. But yeah, being a Lake Erie Monster season ticket holder, all those years I've seen those great quote-unquote draft picks.
Pete, welcome to the show.
How are you?
How's it going?
Good. How's things going, guys?
Real good. We were just talking about the crazy auctions going on right now with the crappy-looking St. Louis jerseys and in your Chicago Blackhawks. We do it every year, outdoor game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm surprised those aren't down just because it's like, here we go, we're outside again, whatever.
It's stupid. Plus, you got to remember, it's almost as bad as going to a regular auction house because you still got to. They have corporations in every state, so they have to collect sales tax just about. So you're going to tag. You guys are going to get tagged with sales tax.
No, shit, I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yep.
So whatever your local tax is, time on top of
pretty much. So those who are going heavy duty on certain ones, I don't know what they're going to do, but wherever it lands, and the problem is that, you will pay local taxes on majority of the states, and if you look in the fine print, there is a bunch of states out there.
Did not know that. That is good to keep in mind.
So I got a question about all these Winter Classic outdoor jerseys. Are collectors buying like styles year after year after year, or are people just buying one, or what's driving the market?
I think as far as Hawks guys, I think most of them want at least one. My preference is goaltenders, to help my son, which is going to be really difficult for me this year with a 100-year patch on every team. It's going to be, obnoxious, and I think that's going to be one of those collection focuses that I just have to get on the secondary market, down the road, few years here and there. They'll be popping up. There'll be a lot of 100-year patch scenarios, especially goaltenders, I should say. So.
Do they wear the 100-year patch for the first half of next year? Have they heard?
Oh, that anything? I don't know. I just know they're doing it for the rest of this one. I don't know what they're doing here for next year's shit, because that'll be the first year for Adidas.
Yeah, I've heard something about them, Adidas only doing home and roads, and that's it, no thirds or alternates.
Yep, we were talking about that just before you came on, and I think, and some people have said maybe it's just for this year because of that transition year, but because the teams want as many different looking jerseys and shit out there, because then that sells a lot of the replicas and that crap too.
Yeah, it's all about marketing. That's all. It has nothing to do with. Unfortunately for us as collectors, it doesn't give us any good good position because we're, nobody cares.
We're a
if
side
you,
note, a footnote in the grand scheme of things.
oh yeah, but the thing is that we're the largest spenders if we're doing volume spending. So I think that's something that they don't realize. That we do spend serious money when it comes time to get something. So
No,
if anyone's, I need a Peter Mrazek, by the way, white one. If anyone's with a 100-year patch, so if anyone's out there that can help me out, let me know.
those will be dropping at the end of your sale, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So I guess in the grand scheme of things, like Fanatics is, they're pushing to the people who don't know any better. I guess the thing that I wish that they did was kind of like guide people towards like the hobby itself. Obviously that's never going to happen because they're not about the hobby, they're about selling shit. But man, if they could get people to like even do a little bit of research of game-worn jerseys just in general, like that would be, it would explode our market reach as collectors, and we'd be able to educate more people and have like a bigger hobby base. It's rough seeing the take, where you just take and take and take and don't give back. I'm trying to encourage them to show up at the Expo in April, but I'm not holding my breath on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a good idea for them, that's for sure, but are they going to do it? Most likely not.
Do you know if Barry or anyone from Migrate is going to make it?
Migrate, as far as I know, they're so far still planning on attending.
Okay.
I'm still talking to Steiner, trying to get those guys involved. I've heard from the Vancouver Canucks, they'd like to show up. And obviously the Chicago Wolves will be there, or a presence will be there for them. I'll be representing the Syracuse Crunch as well. But we're pretty much reaching out to anybody and everybody that we can. I had a list of people that I was for different game-worn websites, different game-worn companies. I'm reaching out to pretty much anybody. GameWorn.com turned us down because they're going to some generic sports memorabilia show sometime later in the year.
Amazing.
But we're definitely, reaching out to everybody just because it's, a great opportunity to get anybody involved in the hobby together in one room. I think that's generally just what the idea is. So Casey Samuelson writes in, he's listening right now, and he says that the Penguins sewed the patch on the left sleeve by mistake, so they had to order new jerseys.
What the hell are they going to do with those?
That I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He also questions my comment on Fanatics not giving back, saying that they bring tons of items that haven't normally been available up for auction, which I argue that statement because they're the same shit that Migrate was auctioning through auctions.nhl.com. But when people saw Migrate, they saw the expansive collections on their website, and that prompted people to check out the hobby. Whereas if you go to a Fanatics website, you see mostly fan merch.
Yeah.
Like the water from the Winter Classic, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I see his point, but it still remains like it doesn't. Them auctioning their stuff off, their name is not an association with GameWorn memorabilia. Migrate is. That's a huge difference. Fanatics is authentic jerseys. They're authentic fan souvenir type shit. So I mean, that's my stance on it. That's my viewpoint. Agree to disagree, I guess.
I agree.
I agree. They're kind of a mini Steiner. So
Steiner's getting better. I mean, their auctions. Every time I see one of their auctions, I'm always interested in at least one or two things that they have in there. But they have forefronted their memorabilia stuff, which I think helps us a little bit.
yeah.
All right, so what are some other things that have been... You're making me sick, man.
What's that?
Welcome back.
Yeah, wife wants some soup. She's been sick. So I had to go get her some fucking soup, you know? That's what husbands do, right?
I'm busy. I'm on a show.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah,
important.
she
That'll
doesn't
go
use
over
four. She doesn't use four-letter words a lot like I do, and I don't think you guys would survive that one.
So I guess one of the other big questions is was this being the first show of 2017, what's the state of the hobby coming into 2017?
Ooh, dude, I think it's going to get rough. I think we're on a downhill slope from here. I think that, okay, so you have your fans, right? And we've been through this. We have our fans and we have our GameWorn collectors, and the GameWorn collectors, they care about the GameWorn stuff, so they join the groups, they join the discussions, they research the stuff. They're not just buyers, right? And what I see is a lot of GameWorn things being sold to one-off customers for keepsakes or for one-off purchases for man caves. Show something off in my office, and not necessarily like for game-worn people. So in my opinion, it kind of takes that out of the hobby, if you will. At least that's what I think is happening from the prices of things that I've seen. And usually at the end of the auction you see at least 30% of what was auctioned show up on forums or Facebook posts and so on, and I think we see maybe 10% of that stuff, maybe less. And I also think that people are becoming less engaged. The discussions aren't happening. I feel like the collectors are more disinterested these days, because it's, kind of takes a little bit of work to engage with people, and I think social media is killing that. Where it's all one-off interactions. The expo is going to be really cool. That's going to show us like who really is about the hobby and whatnot. But you're not going to see a lot of that these days. I see a lot of pass-through people, where they're in it for a little bit, or they don't do the research, or maybe it becomes a little bit overwhelming because they didn't know what they were signing up for.
I think you have a lot of inexperienced people that are coming into the hobby, and they're expecting to get someone like, a big name for like $300, and it's like, I guess an example could be, I don't know, from the Bruins. I can't even think. It's any of the names from the Bruins. They expect to get them for like, yeah, there you go. Thank you. My brain's not working. They expect to get them for like $300 or less, and it's like, you're not going to get that. And then they get mad that they can't get it. It's turning into like, well, it's my way or I'm not getting anything, and so it's just, and then they have to like publicly like say, oh, this person's a bad person because they won't sell me this jersey for $300, and then it just becomes into a bitching fest between sellers and buyers.
Well, let's call it like we see it. All right, we got collectors, right, and then we have, and we'll just call them lurkers. They're not like real collectors, but they have things, and they think they know about things, or they want to know about things, but they don't necessarily know about things, right? So you have two types of those people. You have the ones that are kind of like one-offs, where they go to these auctions and they get one of the jerseys and they throw it away and they just pay whatever it takes. There's no like understanding of value, or that these aren't. It's not the only time that game-worn stuff is going to show up. Like, they don't understand that after every season all the shit gets sold or auctioned, right? And then you have we'll call them the fans. So you got the one-offs, and then you got the fans, right? And the fans, maybe they saw a jersey auction, and they do a little bit of research on the internet, do a Google search for game-worn hockey jerseys, right? Then they show up in our group, and then they're like, well, I don't have the money for these jerseys, so it needs to be fair. There needs to be a fair way to get these to me without me having to pay a crap ton of money. Like a raffle, where I can spend $5 to get a raffle ticket and I might get a jersey. It's got to be fair for me, And we see that. I see that here a lot in the Toledo market, It's everybody should have a crack at it. Everybody should have a shot. Maybe not, my opinion, but maybe not. I think those are the two types that we see peering in every now and then.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, and but when you start asking for tens of thousands of dollars for players, then they, then will they or will they not start barking about it? I think that lurkers, Facebook collectors are, like you say, are not knowledgeable by any standard. I mean, we're really what's left of the generation per se that does, let's say, do their homework and look at values, as properly, and what to expect to pay. So.
Well, it's an interesting situation. Even in my few years, I've been doing this, was it 2017 now? I've been in it 6 years. I see everything starting to taper off as far as, like, avid collectors. It seems like at one point in time, it was almost impossible to know everybody who engaged on a frequent basis. And now I see tons of names joining in and popping in a comment here, popping in a comment there, but the ones that you see frequently, you see all the time, and it's easy to know who's involved. It's, you've got a large pool of people, right? And that those people buy, sell, or trade, and then you have your discussion people, and that like shrinks it way down. And it's just, I feel like it's the real collectors, the ones that engage in the hobby, become smaller and smaller, and people are getting out. Some people don't like that. I've seen people start moving stuff. I've moved stuff because of things that I don't like. So it's really interesting to see how it plays out. But obviously we get more, but as you phase people out and the new people are less engaging than the previous generation, you lose information, you lose focus. I know when a couple old guys got out, a lot of people were saddened because we lost a lot of knowledge about the previous history of some of the vintage jerseys, and I think we're going to end up having that like a revolving door here, because we can't get people actually really interested in the discussions. It's all about buying and selling continuously instead of discussions, instead of sharing of information, instead of helping each other out. It's all about the economics, the buying, the selling, the search, maybe, which the search isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you got to have the knowledge with the search. I just think we're losing a vital resource among not sharing information with each other or not being engaged with each other. Like this, that's why I like this. We talk about things. We engage with each other, and through that we share the information that we have, and we can share that with other people. I see that less and less, if that makes sense.
No, and it does. It makes really good sense. And I mean, I recognize Raffy's name from way back on the old forums and that, and I know the guys that have been around a long time, and I've seen some of the younger people come in, and some have taken, ask good questions, or because no question's stupid if you're trying to learn, as long as you want to learn. If you're just in for 5 minutes and say, yeah, I want this, that, or whatever, and you're an ass, and then we never see you again, nobody, if you do pop back up, nobody's going to want to deal with you. But there's been others that have I've seen come into the hobby either with a lot of money or just trying to get started, and they go ask the right people questions, they engage the community, and then they become a good member of the community.
And not everybody that becomes a good member of the community starts off good,
And some of that is definitely learning experience also.
And a lot of that, and here's the flip side of that, is we do see some of the newer people come in and they just annoy the shit out of us, right? And some of us are vocal about it, and some of us just kind of let it go and move on to the next thing. But if one or two people, took a moment and sent the person a message like, hey, let me help you out with this thing, it gets better.
And there was debate of that on one of the Facebook groups tonight with somebody that's a constant posting about, hey, I'm looking for this kind of jersey or in this price range, and then starts making deals and backs out of it or whatever. And then several people sent screenshots when they sent private messages to this person saying, hey, this isn't how this works, let me help you. And then they freaking blocked them.
Yeah, you're always
and then people get pissed and throw that out to the Facebook pages and that, saying, don't deal with this jackass because he's an idiot.
Right. Some people you can't help. Let's face it. There isn't. But if you at least take the moment, then you can have that definitive result. You can definitively say, this person is not worth the help. I've tried. But if nobody tries, then that doesn't get better. Ryan Alleman comes to mind.
Yeah. His name was brought up today.
He had some things, but people, I talked to him, and I think somebody else talked to him, and he's been better. Maybe not the best, but that comes with time, but way better than what it used to be.
For sure.
Casey Samuelson writes in and says there isn't really a home for the hobby anymore. GameWorn.net was the original and best format. Because it's not at all what we're trying to do with GameWorn.us at all.
Well, Casey has an awesome point there that when there was really one spot to go to get all the information, and there were a lot of collectors on there, and there were a lot of veteran collectors on there, some of whom didn't post a lot, but some who did. Pre the latest owners, it was an open forum to discuss and pass along information. Unfortunately, when the forum traded hands, that changed, and it was sad. They definitely killed, a major conduit of the hobby for many, many years. And certainly you touched on it earlier. I think the dilution of, between the 17 different GameWorn social media pages
17,
that all have the same thing. Well, it's like, join this group, join that group. So it's like, and it's the same post. Somebody will put the same post 6 times up, and it's, the way that you have to scroll through things to actually read the information, it's a giant waste of time. And I think certainly it takes longer to find stuff in a day and age where everything else, it takes less time to find what you want.
It disappoints me to hear people say that we don't have a home with .net gone anymore, because we can have one if people start doing it, but it's not the easy thing to do. People went to .net because it was habit, it was habitual. You can do that same thing with, say, GameWorn.us, which we're trying to do a redevelopment to make archiving and searching easier and all that shit, right? But you have a platform, nobody uses it because Facebook is easier to use. But what does Facebook do with your information? Jack shit. It's impossible to find shit on there. All the threads cannot be organized, sorted, cataloged, archived. It's just a dump. All you do is you go there and you puke shit out, and it's as useful as nothing. It's not useful. You know, it's useful for that day to see what was posted that day or a few days ago. Anything beyond 30 days, which is, you know, where all the good information is stored, is impossible to get to. But we have resources that we can use, but we don't use them because it's not easy like Facebook. Facebook has ruined hobbies. I see it all over with a bunch of different stuff that I used to be into. Modding game consoles, music even, like all this other shit, right? Everything goes to Facebook and you lose all the stuff that a good web forum could bring, and it's because people stop going to the web forums because I have Facebook open and I can just click on this and click on that. But we do that, and when we do that, we sacrifice all the benefits that something else can bring.
And you're right, because I mean everybody's lazy. It's so easy from your phone to hit Facebook with the app and everything else, and bang, you're there.
And Casey says he doesn't post anything on the .us forums because nobody posts anything. Point. I mean, he says there's too many categories, but again, I'm working on something. The categories are there because I was trying to figure out a good way to organize information. So if I'm only interested in a specific team, I can see that team. We're working on a redesign where I can choose a tag, and every single forum post, store, auction, fucking jersey database entry, whatever that associated with that tag will show up. We're working on it. That way we can
you know what? And
categories, but it doesn't do any good if everybody says nobody posts on this and then doesn't post on it because nobody else does. You kill yourself.
Well, and I appreciate the fact that Casey's listening and sending you stuff saying, hey, I'd like to see this, that. And you know what? Let's all, as we come up with ideas, as long as they work, put them out there. And if we can get this stuff tweaked, let's all, I mean, make a concerted effort to even post once every couple days. I mean, everything from just the general jersey discussion to if you know something is going on with a particular team or whatever, start doing those kind of things, and it'll gain steam. And even maybe every so often remind people on some of the GameWorn Facebook sites is remind people, hey, if you really want to get into a deep discussion that's sometimes easier to manage, go here.
Now is the time to talk about the things that can make it better, because we're going through a redesign. So we can build it the way we want. We are in the middle of it right now. Right now we're working on coding the front end, everything that you see. What the main page will look like and how you're going to use it. So if there's things that are viable to make things better, now is the time to get it out. That way it can be developed and it can be used. But why develop something nobody's going to use when it's all nobody uses it now? Well, how does anything new get started? Nobody used it before. It's kind of like the collapse of .net. I mean, I foreshadowed that for a year before that hit. And I try to, it's gonna happen. Well, we'll be fine. No, you weren't. It's just, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. I'm trying to catalog information. I mean, I'm busy enough, unfortunately, with just trying to keep track of all the auctions and stuff and all the values and whatnot. I mean, the World Cup of Hockey jerseys, tracking that shit was a mess, man. Ugh.
Well, and you know what? And that makes a difference, too, is the fact that everybody has a life outside of the hobby, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to afford the hobby to begin with. You do, too, Derek, and trying to manage how big this is on top of have a family life, have a work life, and everything else, it makes a real big difference.
My entire concept of the redesign is to make it so it can be self-regulated, where instead of me just like writing articles, people send me articles, or I write the articles, people can write them themselves, and then they get greenlit, and people can tag all this shit themselves and catalog all the information themselves and shit like that. It's all centered around the user being self-sufficient, but we have to get to that point where users are self-sufficient. I mean, back to, we only do stuff on Facebook. We really only do stuff on Facebook.
And it is, I mean, it's almost too convenient. Like it was said with, when you post it, when you do it like a for sale post or whatever, and you can choose, put this other places, and you click, and bang, they're all there. You do get flooded because we're all members of all those groups. And it'd be nice sometimes, if we could kind of combine some of those stuff down. And I like the ones that are like, it's nice having some of the individual team ones. I think that's kind of nice, but multiple just broad ones are, I think, more of a pain in the ass.
Well, it's because the content flies faster and it can't be organized. It's just there. It's, here, and then the next one goes here, and the next one goes here, and it's not cataloged at all. It's not organized. It's not grouped by a consistent thought. And how many people are a member of a specific team's group without being a member of the main all-encompassing group?
True. There's probably a few, but not many.
I think there are only a few team groups that I've seen that actually have good conversation that doesn't carry over into the main group, and one of them is the Colorado Avalanche GameWorn group. Rafi, you've seen that, I'm sure, where those collectors will have good conversations about Colorado stuff, but you never end up seeing it in the main group. And that stuff I like to see. That's cool. I like that. I don't even collect Colorado shit, but it's kind of cool to know what's going on there.
And like the Blues one this afternoon and this evening has been going hot and heavy with the ending of the Winter Classic jersey, so it was a lot of that kind of discussion. But yeah, other times it's just throwing out jerseys, or if rumors come out or news comes out about what's happening with how they're being sold or whatever, that's about the extent of the discussions.
Yeah. Everett says that the Devils group is good too. So that's nice to hear. It's tough, man. I don't know how we get started talking about this. Didn't you? Was it you? You asked, how's the state of the hobby for 2017?
Yeah,
that's how that's.
It's all my fault.
Damn it!
Just blame me. It's all right.
Can we talk about something fun?
Yeah, but remind everybody again about April.
Fuck, April's gonna be fun.
Tell them about the place again too.
Yeah, dude. All right, so April, food is provided with your entry. It's gonna be barbecue buffet.
Oh.
Yeah, sticky fingers. We're gonna have a stockpile of wet naps so you don't get the jerseys all nasty. Still working on trying to figure out, what event we're gonna do. But you know what? By the hotel where we're staying, there's a cheesecake factory, and I love me some vanilla bean cheesecake. I drove an hour and a half one time for my birthday just to get a vanilla bean cheesecake. So you know what I'm getting.
You could walk there.
Yeah, it's like right there on the campus thing. So you know what I'm getting. I got it. Oof. That's might be bad that I'm actually anticipating that.
You may never leave the area.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. All right.
I might have to go to my old stomping grounds in Chicago when I lived up there. So
we got about 45 people registered right now. Hopefully that'll increase. I'm reaching out to more the business type people at this point, but it's shaping up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Some names I haven't seen before. Some names that are very familiar. A lot of overseas names, which is really cool to see. So I mean, it's not much. And for the Frozen Four, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and with the way they sell the tickets, you don't know if your team's gonna be in it or not. So when teams get knocked out, people start selling the tickets cheap. So I think that's how we're gonna try and start snagging up some tickets for people that want to go to the Frozen Four games.
Yeah,
And the Wolves are home that night too, though, right?
Yep, there's gonna be a Wolves game that we can go see.
If the Frozen Four doesn't work out or the ticket prices are too high.
Yeah, there's no doubt we can get tickets for the Wolves game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think we have some connections on that front.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to see Marty. Last time I was at a Wolves game, Marty was there. Bro tour.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yep. So looking
And
forward to that for
Any
sure.
more word too on us playing?
It's between that or whirlyball.
Whirly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Whirly.
I don't know how many people we have that'll actually play hockey. I don't think we're gonna hit. I don't think we're gonna hit the NHL playing or the hockey playing people. So we might have to just go with the whirlyball and beers and cheesecake.
So we can play that and then throw up.
Yes.
How far is the hotel from the event place?
It's about a 20-minute drive.
Biggest thing we'll have to figure out with that is parking.
Well,
I
that is if there's traffic.
myself
At
and
the
a couple
event.
other collectors are going to help with transportation. So we'll load people up, cart them over, and shit.
Okay, I got a van
can help.
too, so I'll be able
I
to
know I
help.
can help out with transportation. 'Cause I'll have my minivan, so
Cool. I'll have a minivan as well. So that'd be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. As far as hotel, I mean, I'd like to plug it a little bit longer. No one's made any commitments yet. I just looked on the master log, so no one's grabbed onto any blocked rooms. If somebody has, please let me know.
I actually ended up being able to use my state government discount and did it that way through their website. So I don't know if it matters or not.
Well, yeah, and generally, yeah, I guess it does, in that regard, because we have to, we're committed, to a certain amount of dollars to spend there. So, as far as the block, so if I don't get enough people, I'll be giving away rooms. So,
Yeah, I got to get on and book my rooms. I've been really bad at that, so I apologize. I'll try and do that this week or next week.
yeah. I mean, but
Start hyping that up.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
send out
it's
another
good.
email to the people that indicated that they're interested in hotel information. Make sure that they know that those need to get eaten up.
Yeah, and if you need a day more or anything like that, they could contact me and I could adjust that for them. And through the site and then through the contact at the hotel.
Very good. All right, well, that pretty much eats up all of our time. Is there anything major that we want to touch on the next show?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see after.
we'll see what comes
how
up.
things are going to happen. Yeah, see what comes up. I mean, there's really not a whole lot. I think basically the trade between. I think there'll be some early trades, honestly, and then you'll start seeing how things are going to stack up for the NCAA, and we'll still talk about the Expo. I think that everybody should commit properly and locally and out of town. And I'd ask that everyone support it. I think that's it's a necessity that you go once in your lifetime. I've been to many, but a lot of people have not. They just don't think it's a good. It's worth the money to spend if you want to go there and learn and see unique GameWorn items of all types. So I think it's definitely worth it.
All right, well, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys.
All right,
All right, man.
sounds
Bye
good.
bye.
On here. Well, my baby since I don't know where.